Hello everyone. I decided to try to record in this little powder glad making in order to make a video about it. So basically I have these two limited edition G Fuel cans. I love Naruto, so that's why I'm choosing these. And I want to make braces out of them. So I have this Ghost Energy can. I already cut it out and flattened it. And I'm using this as a sort of testing thing. So I'm going to try and make a bracelet out of this, and if that goes well, I'm going to do the same with these cans here. So yeah, I'm going to get started. So what I've done is I cut out a little template that's about the same size as this. As you can see, it pretty much lines up. It's a little bit bigger than this. I did not account for seam allowance because what I plan to do is I'll show you like this. It's going to be a little hard to do with one hand, but basically this is going to be like the backing fabric, and then I'm going to have it folded over like this, and then I'll put the eyelets on. So I'll show a better example when I actually have it cut out, but that's the basic plan of it. In retrospect, I probably should have accounted for a seam allowance in the pattern, so I'm rectifying that now. So basically, I'm going to measure, I'm going to basically line line these up, as you can see. So like there's enough space for the eyelet here, so that will be folded over and there'll be enough space for the eyelet on top of here basically. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and I'll bring you back. Here's the new pattern piece. So this is it lined up with the can, with the flattened aluminum from the can, and it has a very slight taper to it. Like this way it's about 26 centimeters. Let me see. It's hard to do this with one hand. But this is about 26 centimeters, and this is like 27.5, so a very slight taper. So yeah, I'm going to cut out the fabric now. I got my tailor's chalk ready, so I'll mark that out and I'll cut it. There it is, all marked out as you can kind of see. So now I'm gonna cut it out. I have it cut out and I can better show what I was talking about earlier. So the fabric's going to be folded over the metal like this, and the eyelet's going to go through first one layer of fabric, one layer of metal, and then another layer of fabric. I'm going to put 3 eyelets on each side, which means I need to make 3 holes with the hole punching tool. If you have one of those like clip-on eyelet makers, this will probably be easier for you, but I'm basically going to put this on and like hammer it down so that it punches a hole. Hopefully it goes through the metal and stuff. Yeah, so I'll see how that works. So I'm kind of figuring this out in real time. So as you can see, this is about 12 centimeters wide. And I want 3 eyelets here. So I definitely want something at the 6 centimeter line. I'm gonna, let me put down my phone for a second. So I want something right there. And I'm thinking I want the other ones to be 2 centimeters in. So I'd have it at 2 and 10 respectively. So I'm also gonna make marks there. So I think that's good. And then I'm going to use my ruler to make a line that goes all the way down so that they're all lined up too. I think I got to unclip this and, well, no, I don't have to unclip it. I can just, nah, I do have to unclip it. So I'll do that. And yeah, I'll get back to you. Now you can see I have basically 3 crosses. And so I'm going to put my, where'd the hole puncher go? But yeah, I'm gonna put my hole puncher basically right in the center of those so I can make my holes. And I'll do the same on the other side when I'm done with that. Okay, so I successfully punched holes through these, or through this. If you're wondering how that works, you basically just put this wherever you want to punch the hole, and then you hammer it down pretty hard. I put some cardboard over it to protect the concrete, because I did chip the concrete a little bit when I did that. But yeah, overall it went well. So now all that's left to do is to actually put the eyelets in, and then put some sort of lacing on. So I'll do that tutorial on this. So I think this is what is the base for my kit. I'll put one of these onto the base, and then I would basically layer the fabric on. So this would go here. I'll layer the fabric on, and then I'll put this on top. Once that's on top, I'll put that down through it and then hammer. So that's what I'm gonna do. Well, I got them all hammered in, so all that's left for me to do now is put laces on it. I don't actually have, at least not to my knowledge, I don't think I have any laces that I saved for anything, so I'm gonna have to maybe make them. Well, let me check my stash to see if I have any. So I had this ribbon in my stash, which I decided to use as temporary lacing, just to see how this works, and I think it's pretty cool. So I think so with the other Naruto ones, I think I'm gonna get like some red shoelaces to lace this up with. I think that'll look pretty cool. And I'm gonna take this off for a second. Let me bring it back after I do that. These fabric edges are a bit loose here. It's fine, but I think we could use some glue. So I'm going to glue that down on this side and this side, and then it should be done. Yeah, then I'll actually bring you back when I'm working on the Naruto ones, which will probably be tomorrow or a few days from now. I'll have to see, because I just want to get the red laces and stuff. So yeah, so time for me to start working on the real deal. So what I'm gonna do is use a can opener to open up what I can. Last time I was able to do this, I wasn't able to really get it to cut around, but it was at least able to make an opening that I could put my scissors through. So I'm gonna see what I can do, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I wasn't able to do much of the can opener, but now I can stick my scissors through here. And it's okay to be a bit sloppy on this top part here, because that's going to be cut off anyway. Just because it's indented a bit, and it's not going to be good for making a flat sheet of metal. So yeah, I'm going to cut this out, and I'll come back to you. Like I said, it's okay for it to be sloppy, because we're going to neaten it up later. So now what I want to do is I want to make a cut down here through the nutrition facts. You know, that way I'm avoiding the whole design that I want to show off, and, you know. So cut right through the nutrition facts and just straight down. You do kind of want to be neat on this part, but you can neaten it up later, so don't worry about it too much. And the best way to be neat is to make as large cuts as possible. So you want to stick your, here, I'm going to try to show you. You want to open your scissors as much as possible, go down as deep as possible, and then you make your cuts. All right, so I'll be doing that. That was a total of 2 cuts, and you can see how neat it is. So now I'm going to, well, I'm probably going to do one more cut right here, so I can like get down to the bottom a bit. Let's see if I can just do this on camera, just so I can see, because it's a bit hard to explain. I'm trying to do one more big cut, just like that. You see how I'm at the bottom now? So, oops. Let me pick this back up. So now that I'm at this bottom part, I can cut here a bit sloppily, just to get rid of this whole bottom part of the can. So I want to cut, you know, just along here, basically, along this blank part. There we go. I sloppily cut out the bottom of the can. I did make a slight mistake here that you might be able to see, like right on my thumb. Yeah, I kind of poked the scissors through there, but it's fine. I mean, it's fine to me. Like, obviously, you kind of want to avoid mistakes like that, but, you know, it is what it is. That it's out. I want to really, like, neaten it up with some big cuts. So, I'm going to make some big cuts around here. I'm going to try to do one on camera, just to, you know, show what I mean. It's a little hard to maneuver, but open up as wide as possible and just cut as far as I can. And I'll repeat that all around and on both sides. There we go. There are some imperfections, of course. I don't think you can really get it perfect with some regular scissors, but for the most part, it's a really clean edge, as you can see. I'm turning it all around. And that's that. So now I'm going to show you how to actually flatten it, which is pretty simple. You want to take like a straight edge on like on something hard. You want to turn it face down and kind of just press down and like pull like this. And as you can see now, it's quite flat. So I just did this with one cam. I'm going to do this with the other one off camera. And then probably on another day I'll record. I need to get some more fabric from the craft store, and then I need to probably also get some paracord for the lacing. So I'll get back to you once I get that stuff all ready. There we go. We got two pretty flat sheets of metal, pretty clean edges. Like I said, they will have some imperfections on them, as you can see if you look closely, but for the most part they are smooth, so they're ready for the other steps that I showed before with this bracer. Oops. I do want to take a moment to say to be careful with the metal shards here. I put them in this container just to keep them kind of contained. But if I can get one out with one hand, you can see, you know, you get a lot of really sharp points here. I did stick myself once in the process of making these. Not too bad. There wasn't any like dripping blood or anything, but just be careful, especially with the tiny shards. You don't want to, you know, like have that like stuck in your foot or something. So although I'm not really taking any safety precautions, just through trial and error, I'm gonna recommend that you wear like gloves or something and maybe like do this in a place where you can easily like sweep up all the shards and stuff. Whatever safety measures that you can you know think of. Just be careful. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, so I went to Hobby Lobby and I got two things. One is this elastic cord here. It's elastic, so like I won't have to worry about like tying it constantly. I can just have it, you know, just pre-tied and then have it stretch onto my arm basically. I'll show what I mean about that when I'm basically done. But then I also got this fabric. It's a I think the theme is Florida Gators. I don't know, but it was a fabric remnant, so I got it for pretty cheap. And the color scheme is pretty nice. I'm just gonna basically avoid showing the Gator logo, which should be easy because the fabric is basically gonna be a trim. So yeah, that's what I got. So I'm gonna cut this out into pieces that will fit the bracer. I'm gonna have it be a bit larger on all sides this time instead of just on the side edges where the eyelets are gonna be. Just to be like, I guess like extra cushioning from like the edges, basically from the edges of the metal. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make a new pattern piece, and I'll get back to you on that. All right, new pattern piece made. As you can see, this is the space I have for the eyelets here, and then this is some extra space on the edge to be as a trim, basically. So next step, I just have to use this to cut out my fabric here that I have under my little board, my big board. But yeah, I'll use this pattern to cut out the fabric here. So there we go. We got two pieces of fabric the same size as my pattern piece. What I basically did is I made sure that the Gator logo was in the middle so that it wouldn't show up on the edges. So yeah, that's how I did that. Okay, so now they're put together, and I'm really liking the look of this so far. So next, I'm gonna punch holes through 3 holes on each of these edges. So a total of 12 holes across both of these gauntlets. And yeah, and then I'll install the eyelets. All right, so we only got 2 steps left. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue like basically right under here, just to stick the metal to the fabric. I'm gonna do that on both sides and of course on both bracers. So I'll do that, I'll let it dry, and then we'll move on to the last step. Okay, I gave it like an hour or 2 to dry. I wasn't keeping track of time that much, but it had some time to dry somehow. the last thing I gotta do is put it in this cord. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna cut it. Well, I'm gonna cut it to roughly the size I think I need to lace it through. Then I'll tie it with the double square knot, which is a very simple knot if you don't know it by name. You probably know the knot, but you might not know it by name. So I'll do a double square knot, and then yeah, I'll see if it's good. If not, I can always cut it shorter. Yeah, the stretchiness should help with, you know, making sizing pretty easy. So I'll go ahead and do. So that's one just about done. As you can see, I basically laced it up just like a standard shoe lacing. And then there's my double square knot up here. So I can just trim the edges and then use like a lighter or something to, actually I don't even think I need to melt the ends to prevent fraying. I might do it anyway, but yeah, I'll cut this a bit shorter, just so that it's neater. And then that'll be done, and I'll just repeat the same thing on the second one. And there we go, I have one done. You can see how it looks, and switch to my other hand. I got the other one done. So I hope this tutorial was both enjoyable and helpful. If you thought so, just let me know what you think. So yeah, that's all for now. Talk to you all later. Bye bye.